Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back at Zandvoort, even though it's a layout that I'm unfamiliar with, but I'll just see where they chop it off, and then I'm sure it'll come to mind very quickly. Right, I'll do that. It's not a problem. Zandvoort is actually quite an interesting circuit. They've changed it a bit for Formula One racing, but there's a lot of history around Zandvoort. But at the moment, that's about no change to the main circuit so far. They go through, it was Tarzan corner, then here's the banked circuit. There's right, left, there's the commentary booth on the right-hand side that we use, and it'll go through Hoegenholz and over Hunzerich. And that's got nothing to do with the back of a dog. Then over Hunzerich, there they go left, that's Rob Schlotenmaker, and there they break away. So the breakaway is they cut off quite a bit of the circuit that is Stuyvlak and Marlborough, which is no longer called Marlborough because you're not allowed to have cigarette sponsorship, and then they'll rejoin again the main circuit just before the twisty bits. And there we go. So from here on it's a short straight, then it starts sweeping to the right is Arie Luyendyk. Here you've got to get your entry and exit speed really good, because that feeds into the main straight. And if you get a good exit out of Arie Luyendyk, as you see, it's a continuous right sweep. There's the main grandstand to the left. You have to get a good exit speed out of Arie Luyendyk to have a good speed into the main straight, and especially, as Dennis said, for underpower card like this. And this is the first corner that I missed. This is called Tarzan corner. They've actually paved it up the hill now with Formula One. But yes, if you go off there, you're into the dunes. So guaranteed they are going to stop you very quickly. And that's a circuit round Zandvoort.
And apologies for everyone, I had myself muted there, so obviously a bit rusty after a little bit of a break. I am here. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to the series.
Right, so certainly it is going to be a lot of fun. Interesting to be in a new sim and to see what it gives us. You can see the car unsettled, using a little bit too much of the curb there. But getting used to the sim that we'd raced on previously. So luckily Zandvoort is fairly wide, and I use the word very carefully, because when you've got a field of 30 cars, no circuit is wide. You need to use the landing strip somewhere, where the pilot made a very abrupt landing and said to the co-pilot, "Damn, this runway is short." And the pilot, "Yes, but it's so wide." So yes, yeah, you probably fit 4 abreast, but you'd have to sort each other out before you go into Tarzan corner. At least 2, down to 2 next to each other to get through the corners.
Just seeing Timo Smit on screen at the moment. Timo's looking like he's going to be one of the front runners. I think coming into this from the practice rounds, it looks like Jason is our #1 driver. Gerrit is right there, hot on his heels. Melvin is looking extremely quick as well. So Melvin's there, Jeandre is there, Timo's there, Sean is there. Jonathan is not far off. So we have at least 7, 8, 9, 10 guys right up there on the money with the times. So it's going to be extremely close. And remember, for race 1, we have a 20-minute race standing start. So race 2, we have a 20-minute standing start, top 10 reverse grid. So that's going to be extremely difficult for the guys to get through when the lap times are only 0.1, 0.2 of a second difference.
Yeah, the top dozen cars from P1 to P12 are covered by the same second. 0.996, the 12th position, it's Jean-Ray Dippenaar, is behind Jason Underwood. So first to 12th is covered by less than a second. It's going to be close racing.
And as I was mentioning in the broadcast, the build-up which I was muted for, we have a lot of new drivers that have joined us. So welcome to all the new drivers. Some of them are from another group called Petrolhead Racing. So welcome to them. If you're interested in their series, you can always go have a look at their channel. They also race RaceRoom, which is a fantastic sim. We've just never used it. This is our first time using it. This is a new venture for us, something different. We have, as a result, we have South Africans, we have Swedish drivers, we have Namibian drivers, we have a driver from Caribbean, we have a British driver, we have an Italian driver, we have a Finnish driver, and we have a Dutch driver. And we have a Portuguese driver. So we have a wealth of talent from all around the world.
So yeah, the Dutch driver, if I remember correctly, is Arjan Belder. He's in 15th position. Gaat je wel, Arjan?
Speaking of Aaron, here he is.
Yeah. And certainly enjoying the circuit. I'm not sure if he, being Dutch, actually gets to visit the circuit in person, but yes, it's an interesting track. And the layout, as we said before, we aim to cover the Grand Prix layout later in the year. It's going to be the 19th of next month, so not too far to go. And then we'll cover the Grand Prix circuit, which is the one that I know quite well. I know this obviously as well. I just need to get into my mind where they turn away from the circuit, and I think it's just after Rob Slotemacher. For those of you that don't know, I'll have to count the corners. Tarzan is 1, Gerlachbocht is 2, Hogenholz is 3, Honserich is 4, Rob Slotemacher is 5. I think they make a loop around at Rob Slotemacher and they remove Scheeflak and Bochtondername and what used to be called Rennerbocht, and they join the track again just after Vodafone Bocht. So slightly shorter circuit, which is interesting for these cars that you get quite a few more laps in. We'll somewhere make a mental note and see how many laps we did get in, and then we'll see in the Grand Prix circuit how many laps one gets in there with the extra few hundred meters added.
Right, let's do an onboard lap with Jonathan Bentz, one of our front runners, currently in 4th place. Heading into Tarzan. I'll let you lead us through.
Yeah, I'm only 0.04 of a second. That's Tarzan corner that he's just gone through, and this corner now it's banked to the right. And actually, if you look at the old Formula 5, they were 500cc cars. The guys actually in the historic racing, they hold on to the side of the car. Sorry, they've gone through Gerlach, they've gone through Hogenholz, they go over Honserich, down on the other side, left into Rob Slotemacher as he looks as though he's come to a standstill on the side of the track.
I guess we'll be joining for a lap with Gerrit Beekers.
Right, so Gerrit's just trying to see where he is at the moment.
Onto the main straight.
There's on the main straight now, so we'll join him there. It's quite a long main straight. As I said before, it's nice and wide as well, but you've got to come down from speed to a hairpin right. This is Tarzan corner with the hill of the dunes ahead of you. He cuts it, I think, a little bit early, but if that's his style, then that's it. That's Tarzan corner. Then it'll be through Gerlach, which is slight right. I don't think it bothers the drivers too much. Then it's through the right-hand corner, and then you'll see it's not quite a hairpin, but it's Hogenholz. It's also banked, so there are two different lines that you can run through Hogenholz. Then you go over Honserich. That is the hill that dives down to the bottom. Then you have a left, which is towards Rob Slotemacher, and before Rob Slotemacher, they cut it off to the right, and you join again what used to be called Vodafone corner, and out of there it's a curve away to the left before you come through a right-left combination. Here's the right, here's the left, what the drivers call the Mickey Mouse part of the track. Now you've got time to settle the car. It's a straight section which takes you through Kumo. I don't think it's sponsored by Kumo anymore. And here you go through Kumo, and that just starts feeding you into Arie Luyendyk. There's a bit straight again out of Kumo, and this is Arie Luyendyk, the curve that goes on and on and on to the right. You've got to get really good speed out of it to get good speed into the straight, and that's a lap of the shortened version of Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. Zandvoort, of course, is a coastal town, holiday town on the coast. If you were to go further west, you'd hit the UK, but yes, that's where Zandvoort is located.
Right. Let's see how our lap times are looking. Let's just have a quick run through. So in 1st place, Gerrit Beekers. 2nd place, Jason Underwood. In 3rd place, a new driver, Marvin Brunt, right on the pace. He's just jumped up to 4th place, Jean-Louis de Toy, as we see on screen now. Jonathan Bentz in 5th place, Timo Smith 6th place. 7th place, Sean Olivier. 8th place, a new driver, Andy Darnell. Monet Deploy in 9th, Reno Berger in 10th. Gabriel Tabak in 11th, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Mathieu Renault in 12th, also sorry if I'm butchering the names. Yandre Dippenaar in 13th, Arjan Balder in 14th, and in 15th, Julian Brains, and that's as far as I'm going to read for now. It's running out of time.
Yeah, it's nice. 28 cars on circuit. I'm not sure if that's as far as the screen goes, but to see so many cars in a championship is really great stuff, because it's going to keep the guys. You'll have to give some, what shall we call it, leeway for drivers that are alongside you. There's no such thing as if you are just a fraction ahead, you have the racing line. I think you have to be considerate to everybody around you, but we'll wait and see what's going to happen in the racing. So Gerrit has got back to his normal ways. We haven't actually seen some of the cars that the drivers that we know. We haven't seen the colors. Here's Reino Berger. That's Macalia Racing, all the Max in that team name. So he's in a solid blue. Not that I'll remember it initially, but we'll get used to it very quickly, because we're going to be racing every week, except for the last Sunday of the month. And here we have the Hickson Motorsports Jonathan Bentz.
Just looking at our drivers, there's a minute left to go. Our number 3 driver, Marvin Brunt, is currently in the pit, so he won't be improving. Jonathan has jumped up to 4th place. Yes, he's retaken 4th place from Jean-Louis Latour. So they're still in it. He's on track. He could possibly take over 3rd from Marvin, so Marvin could come under fire there. We have Reino that is now also pitted. He's on track. It's the 2 drivers below him that have pitted, which is Yandre Dipino and Gabriel. I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname, so I think it's Tupo or something like that. So maybe someone could let me know how to pronounce that. Ariane Balder currently on track as well. Rian van der Westhuizen on track. Sean Johnson on track.
One of the regular drivers, Timo Smit, has a good 6th position. So I think that's it as far as. I didn't have an eye on the clock, but if it's showing us such a nice display, then I should imagine that qualifying is over. And Gerrit Bierkes in the Copeland Motorsports car is 0.1 of a second quicker than Jason Underwood. Marvin Brunt in 3rd, Jonathan Bentz. Let me just get before I forget, something else going. And
just on a screen capture as well, just in case. To lean over to the other PC.
Yeah, both of us thinking the same thing at the same time. So the reason we do screen capture obviously is for the reverse grid in race 2, that we swap around the top 10.
All right, we're going to jump to a quick ad break. I've been caught out by that break. We'll be back right now, or just after the break, for race 1. All right, welcome back everybody to race 1 of the Sim Experience Safe Boys MX5 Cup round 1, coming to you live from the Zandvoort National Circuit in the Netherlands. This is race 1, a 20-minute race. We'll have a race 2 with a top 10 reverse grid. That'll be coming up shortly. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Sean Woodgate. Good evening, Sean.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back on the microphone and see you guys back racing.
Just running through everything. We're still kind of learning everything new here, but we have everything on screen at the moment, which will hopefully not be overdone and catch us out too many times. But at the moment, all very interesting. We have a full field of 28 drivers. The points for those 28 drivers will range from 350 all the way down to 10 points. They're going to be extremely close as the championship unfolds. Alright, then we're away. That kind of caught me off guard.
Okay, so that was quick, and certainly the cars got away nice and clean. Nice to see everybody's giving each other space. The first 4 are line astern as they go into Tarzan Corner, or off the road already, is number 89, and we'll see it fall off. I wonder if it's Van Aarde, because he's right at the bottom of the list. But everybody quite safely through Gerlachbocht, Goegenals, Hunzerich, and here this is actually a hill that they go over the top of Hunzerich, and instead of carrying on, there's a few that are again, that's the one that I was saying that the guys that drive the old, I can't remember Formula 500s they actually hold on to the side of the car, leather helmets, like old aviator style helmets. But getting back to the track itself, I think it's just before Rob Slotemaker, which is a corner to the, it's a slight left-right. That's where they turn to the right. They miss out on Schrijfvlak, Masters Corner, turn 10, 9-10, sorry, and then the track joins again. So here we go, somebody else finds the gravel. It's not nice because it slows you down. It looks like the banked section just below. This is on lap 2 then already, if it is that banked section. That is just below the commentary booth. Stand beside note, having a moment there. So here they come through the right-hander again. This is the main straight. Commentary booth up there to the left. As you look at it, this is Tarzan Corner 2, almost 3 abreast. Well, there's 3 cars very, very close to each other there. And in the yellow and black, I do imagine it must be the Flying Bumblebee, because he would more than likely have retained the colours. It seems to have stuck. Then behind him is Jason Underwood, this time in a white car. And we'll see where Brandt is going to come up in 3rd position. So it looks as though because they're fighting each other in 2nd and 3rd, they're allowing Gerrit to get away. So close racing, and that number 1 car is certainly trying to gain a few positions there, but the racing is difficult. I mean, about 3 sets of cars, shall we call it that, except for the race leader. He's out in front and getting away from everybody else because of the battle behind him.
It looks like Jason's got a bit of a hard time at the moment with Marvin right behind him, giving him a hard little nudge there into the one corner. I think just caught out by the braking markers maybe.
Yeah, it certainly is a circuit that you've got to get your brake markers really right. But at the moment, Jason's holding on to that 2nd place for now as they enter the straight again. And as we said, for the circuit, the length of the straight, I don't think that the guys have, well, I might be proven wrong, because certainly it did look as though the 3rd place car was closing up on Jason on the braking at Tarzan Corner. But the cars are so evenly matched and so little adjustments to be made. It's up to the driver and the setting. There's the commentary booth just behind, out of the back window there for a bit, and there's the main grandstand, so you can get an idea where the main straight is compared to where they are now, going over Hunzerich, and then they go left and then it cuts away. You can see the bollards over there. That's on the way to the GP circuit, and then they cut out all of Schrijfvlak, Mastersbocht, turn 9, turn 10, and go back onto and join at Hans Ernst, which, as I said, there's a slide, and that's where the circuit changes. So maybe somebody was still thinking of going back to the original line. and also 2 wheels off on the gravel is not going to help you either. But the Flying Bumblebee is certainly, there's a spin as well. The track, I wouldn't say it's a difficult track to get used to, but the thing is with the gravel just off the rumble strips, and then also if you have an off into the gravel proper, then your tires are not going to be very good for the grip. Here's the main straight. A view that I personally never got to see. This is taken from Tarzan Corner, the top of Tarzan Corner, looking back down the main straight to the last corner. And here they go through Tarzan, which as you see is a right-hander. It's banked. There are quite a few banked circuits at Zandvoort, which makes it quite interesting.
Just to let everyone know as well, every driver is driving on the hard compound BF Goodrich tyre. It's the only compound there is, so tyre wear should not be an issue tonight. Maybe tyre temperature, but not tyre wear.
It's a cloudy day in the Netherlands, so I don't think it'll be that hot. But that being said, I was in Europe last year where they had one of the hottest summers in decades. And we were there in September, so it wasn't actually even true summer, and it was 37. So all the cars seem to have found their racing line now, and it's Beerkes, Underwood, Brandt. Timo Smit was consistently in fourth in the previous championship that we ran, and he certainly is holding on to that fourth position now, and just got to get used to his colors and see if it has a minion on it.
It does not. It's a white car. That's the one thing with this, and we don't have custom skins, so you see there's contact there between some of the drivers.
Yeah, 3 of them, and one just comes, and I must say, very good, shall we say, display of dodging cars, because he got to dodge them all and drove in through the gap left in between all of them. We did mention it before. There you see a natural drift to the outside of Tarzan Corner. If you have the entry speed a little bit too fast, then Tarzan Corner, I wouldn't say bites you, but you get to go close to the gravel, and the slight uphill slows you down as well, so that actually gets to help you a lot. Is the corner behind the commentary booth that they come through, and that is Hoegenholzbocht, Inzerich, and then they'll turn away just before they get to Rob Schlottemacher, which is in the distance there, and join.
See, Marvin is very late on the brakes there, so maybe that's why he got caught out and he hit the back of Jason earlier, because he does seem to be very late on the brakes. I think Jason's slower and fast out. Marvin maybe has a slightly different driving style. But it looks like they're all very, very close at the moment.
Now, first, second, and third, if you look at the gaps, it's in the thousandths of the seconds that they're behind each other. So, sorry, I've got it right. It's 0.6, 0.5, and 0.4 seconds. So, in the decimals of a second. So, small gaps, you can actually see the first 5 cars, 6 cars are running very close together.
Yeah, Jonathan Bent's right there in 5th place. He's got a car right behind him, he's got a car right in front of him.
Yep. He's got Timo Smit ahead of him, and he's a John Ray de Toy behind him. That's the scenic route. And that's not going to do you, that's Rainer Berger. And he's certainly not going to make that mistake again, or he's probably going to plan not to make that mistake again.
I don't think it was Rainer, I think it was actually Johan Beerkes.
Okay. So, just for an instant, we had a pop-up on the screen. The race time, we have 12 minutes 20 plus wherever the race leader finds himself at the end. But where I thought Gerrit was actually running away with it, Jason Underwood is keeping him honest and not letting him get away. Brandt is right there as well. Timo Smit is right there with him. So a little bit of a gap between Jason and Brandt. There it's 0.7 of a second rather than less than half of a second. So first and second are separated a little bit from the 3rd place car, and Timo Smit is trying his best. Here you got the view looking forward from Jason Underwood that he's trying his best to catch up with Gerrit Beerkes, but Gerrit has a nice smooth racing line. He doesn't seem to be unsettled. He gets out of Arie Leijendijk nice and smooth, as I said before, probably ad nauseum, is that you have to get a good exit speed, especially with slower cars like these that don't have the brute force and the horsepower to accelerate down the straight. Well, there's another car that gets a corner wrong. Luckily on the brakes and not into the barrier. So this is out of turn 1, 2, 3. they come out. Oh, there's another one that didn't get the corner right. So that's Caroline. Nice to see a lady driver. That's certainly a turn up.
We actually have two. We have two in the race tonight. We have Jonathan Benz up in the front. His daughter Emily is actually in the race as well. So
okay, great stuff.
Good to have Emily driving.
Yeah, and she's in 12th position, so she's in the top dozen. So well done for the ladies. It is I think I've been involved with you guys almost 2 years now, Dennis, and this is the first time we have lady drivers, except where you had that one race for the lady drivers.
Yes, and she's really doing a phenomenal job at the moment. Her pace is really good. She's driving like an experienced driver, so fantastic to see.
Yeah, and it's of course one of those things that you can compete with the men on equal footing. It's just the machinery that you have is identical to that the men have. It's how you handle that machinery and how smooth you are and how quick you get around the circuit that'll determine what your finishing position is. So for all the spins we've seen, I think everybody has managed to restart.
I think the only one that hasn't is Harvey Ho. So something's happened to Harvey. It looks like he's not on track at the moment. So, we have a change for the lead.
Yeah, I saw that coming at Tarzan, but is it going to stay? Yes, it does. Then it goes through Gerlachbocht and then Hoegenholz coming up now. And here's the one that I said, because of the angle of the track, you can have two different lines, but it looks like Gerrit was fighting that steering wheel a little bit there. But a nice clean move there by Jason to take over the lead from the Flying Bumblebee, and Jason has a great run at the moment. You know, Gerrit looks so, as you mentioned, Gerrit is a lot later on the brakes with some of the corners. Now I wonder whether that doesn't punish the left front tyre quite a bit, because that was braking while turning, so that might be a bit of stress for the tyre. And if you have a smoother line, the slow in, quick out, then that might be a little bit kinder to the tyres and have better grip for the duration of the race. That being said, there are 9 minutes to go.
Also, just answering the question there about the penalties, the way the penalties are working, drivers will get a slowdown if they do a cut or get a knock. They do get, technically they get penalty points. The penalty points don't mean anything. The server can be set up that if you have a certain allocated amount of penalty points, that you would then get kicked from the race. Ours isn't set up like that, so that's just something that it brings up. But there are slowdowns. If you cut the track, you get a slowdown. If you give someone a bump, you get a slowdown. So it will keep the drivers more honest that way.
I tell you what, the change from Gerrit to second and Jason to first means that Mr. Brandt is certainly involved right there with the top three, and not too far back as Timo Smit, Benz and Jean-Ray du Toit. So the top six, those cars are very, very close together. Close racing, neat, tidy, and everybody in with a chance. And you see there's quite a big gap down to, it's 4.8 seconds to Darnell, and is it Marius Deploy? He's further back as well by 1.1 seconds from Darnell. So but these six definitely in contention, and the slightest mistake that is going to or could be made, Brandt is the 172, as we have a look forward and see if there's going to be any change. No, certainly not this time, as Jason holds onto it. And Melvin Brandt, 0.2 of a second. And if you want to know what 0.2 of a second looks like between Melvin and Gerrit, that's 0.2 of a second. So are they coming up to back markers now?
It looks like it. I believe that's Caroline in front of them, yes. Here comes Melvin, he's looking.
That's going to make life very interesting if they come into the back markers. That's probably the best thing he could have done, because he's all the way off the racing line, and they saw him well in advance. Well done to him to actually stay there and not just, sometimes the red mist comes down and guys are so focused just to get back onto the track that he didn't do that, stayed out of the way, let the top six go, and then rejoined again. Luckily with the gap that there is, that he could use to get back in again. But at the moment, in fifth position, Benz is only 0.1 of a second behind Timo Smit. So that's going to be very, very close as well to see whether those positions are going to change.
I see we have another DNF at the moment for Arjan Balder, our local driver. Oh, well, I'll say local as in virtual. He's a real Dutch driver, and this is a virtual Dutch track, so unfortunately he's at a DNF.
Gerrit's been given a slowdown for track limits. That's what I saw. I just had it in the right-hand corner, it popped up. So I'm not sure how that gets paid attention to by the driver, but Gerrit got a warning there for a slowdown for abuse of track limits.
All right, and here's Melvin now taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, so, and down the straight is probably the place where he doesn't want to do it, because that gives Melvin the best chance to get past, and he uses the blocking line going through Tarzan, so makes that car very wide, and on the exit he drifts to the left, which is the wrong place to be. Well, it's the right place to be to block the line, and there again uses all the curbing, but I'm not so sure that that's so useful, because it unsettles the car, and these cars, I think relatively speaking, have fairly narrow tires, so if you've got tires in the air, you don't have grip for that short moment, and coming down to take that turn to the right, which chops off 3 or 4 corners from the Grand Prix circuit, but Melvin is right there with him, Melvin Brandt, right up there with Gerrit Beekes. Gerrit Beekes, the Bumblebee, predominantly yellow tonight, and Jason Underwood is in the lead, but at this stage it's through Hogenholz and Homserich, and he's got, it doesn't look like much, but it's about 2 car lengths. So the front 3, that's Underwood, Beekes and Brandt, they have separated from Smith, Benz and Jean-Ray de Tooy. So 2 sets of 3 as they run. At the moment, we have 4 minutes 45 to go as they come into the straight. Once again, I didn't look at what the lap times were. If you've potentially got that, Dennis, then you can get an idea of how many laps to go.
So our top drivers, we have the last lap. This is going from first down. In first, we have 122.7. In second, 122.8. In third, a 122.8. In fourth, a 123.0. In fifth, a 123.4. And then it slowly gets slightly slower. Some of the drivers, Mornay Deploy was with 123.5. So very much top running pace at the moment. 23.6 behind them, a 23.7 behind that. So very, very close lap time.
Okay, so these guys, just my mental arithmetic, if that can be counted for anything, are on their third last lap, I make it, plus minus. So
Yes.
potentially this lap, when they cross the line, 2 more.
Looks like the top 3 are now slightly breaking away from Timo, and then there's the next 3.
Yes. Yeah, the top 6 breaking away from the rest of the pack. Visibly now, the rest of the pack is not in sight, but certainly Jason, Gerrit, and Melvin 1, 2, and 3, and then it's Timo, Benz, and Jean-Ray de Tooy 4, 5, and 6. And there, the back of the field comes Darnell in the 7th place car. So they're quite a long distance apart. Darnell is all of 6 seconds behind Jean-Ray de Tooy. Looking forward from Jean-Ray in 6th position. And as we said before, you have to get out of Arie Luyendyk nice and smooth, and then it's the main straight. He's not close enough to draft, so I don't think he will be lunging. But I tell you what, Benz is going to have a go at Timo, and he certainly did do so. And Timo's in the white car, but manages to survive that one.
And now Benz is under threat from Jean-Ray.
Yeah. So certainly the guys are giving it everything. I think they know that there are only so few laps left. Recognize Hogenholz bocht quite easily, and then Homserich before we wait for the part that they turn to the right in the national circuit. Now Timo having a wide line out of that corner, which is just before what they used to call the Once I get my tongue and my brain in the same gear, I actually sound a lot better. But it's actually quite an interesting circuit, this, without Scheiflach, Masterbocht, turn 9 and 10, because they go straight into the straight section before the squiggly bit, which leads them up to Kumo, which then sets them up for Arie Luyendyk. And the main straight, as I say that, here they come again. So Timo Smith leading Jonathan Benz at this stage, or they trying to avoid the guy behind.
I see the pack, sorry to butt in, the pack has changed. It's gone from 3 and 3 to now 3 and 4. Melvin seems to have maybe made a small mistake or got a track cut and has worked his way backwards to, who's that, Timo in 4th place now.
Yes, he's 1.7 seconds behind Gerrit, and Gerrit only half a second behind Jason. So first and second still everything to fight for, but then third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, as you see them here, very, very close racing. There's Gerrit Beerkes with Melvin Brunt behind him. Actually closer than what one thinks. Oh, under braking again. Because it's a concertina effect. The cars just seem to catch up, and then the car ahead is on the throttle first and then extends the lead again. But certainly the braking is where you can make up a bit of distance. The curbing here, I wouldn't say is forgiving, but it can be quite lethal. I think the bit that they've cut out for this race, there are bits of curbing there that we'll see later in the year, that those are quite bad and one needs to stay away from them. Right, here they come across to start the last lap. So with 33 seconds to go, certainly this is the last lap, being led by Jason Underwood from Gerrit Beerkes. Only 0.4 of a second, what's that, 0.6 of a second behind. So very, very close. And then third, fourth, and then fifth and sixth. So it's 3 sets of 2 cars, plus minus. Jason and Gerrit, Melvin and Timo, Benz and De Toy. That's the way they're racing at the moment.
And battles all through the field here. We've got Ricardo Costa in 18th place, fighting hard. We're showing him 18th. He's right behind Monet Du Toit. He's in 17th. Then there's quite a big pack in front of them, so all to play for in front there. Of course, we've got Emily Benz in the middle of that pack as well, so having a good race there. Right behind her is Sean Oliver, who's one of the top drivers.
Yeah, Sean is one of the guys that was in top 6 in one of the previous series that we've run. So certainly it looks as though Emily is giving him a hard time, and she's in 13th position, so she's in the top half of the pack by 1 position, but still top half is top half, and so well done to Emily. Nice to see the ladies getting involved as well, and on an equal footing with the men.
Right, so Jason comes across the line, or up to the line, to take a race 1 victory. Good race and good performance from Jason tonight.
Yeah, so Jason then Gerrit across the line, Melvin, Timo, Benz, and the top 6 are all gone through. Benz and Jean-Ray Du Toit, Dunel, Gunnel, Deploy, they've all gone through as well. So the race is over, and certainly a very, very interesting race it was. I actually thought that the battles, we did see quite a few spins. Even here, write down what position is this for.
13th.
13th. I would have thought that it's going to be a lot more hectic, but I think the drivers were very, very well mannered tonight and gave each other racing room. There was no elbows out and this road is mine sort of thing. Dinesh got a slowdown as well penalty for track limits abuse. That is a decision from the stewards. It's a bit late for Dinesh to serve that at the moment.
Glad he's racing, by the way, because he was having that network issue, that error 13. So he actually managed to get in and drive.
Yes, so he got a 22nd position, just ahead of Stan Besaidnout. So he managed to finish the race as well.
And just for everyone watching, remember, if you're enjoying it, to hit the like and subscribe button and to stick around for race 2, where at the end you'll be able to vote for your driver of the day. There'll be a QR code that you can scan with your phone, and you'll then be able to at least vote for whoever you feel is the most deserving of driver of the day.
Right, and make a mental note of who impressed you so far in the first race, because the decision is not based on the second race only. It's who you thought was driver of the day, which includes both races.
Right, as we have our results on screen, I'm not too sure exactly how this is going to work. It'll probably jump straight to race 2 in a moment. So we'll just hang tight for a moment. It'll jump to race 2. We'll give it a few moments before we can get going then. But as it's currently showing the positions, I'm not sure just how long the delay will be. Very new to this, so learning as we go along as well.
Right, nice that it actually scrolls down until it gets to Harvey and Arjan, who had DNFs, and they obviously were at the back of the field and then stops. So 1st to 8th, it scrolled through. Everybody gets a chance to exit the track. As you see on the left-hand side there, Jason Underwood, the race winner, and that gives you a little bit of...
Let's jump to ads then for this. We don't need to see this.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back everybody for race 2 of the Sim Experience, the Safe Boys MX5 Cup. This is round 1, race 2, another 20-minute race with a top 10 reverse grid. This is the Zandvoort National Circuit. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Sean Woodgate. Welcome back, Sean.
Good evening, everybody, and we're looking forward to race 2, because certainly race 1 was full of excitement.
I'm not going to run through the points because I think it's about to start. I'll just put it on the screen. You're welcome to hit the pause button, but the race is about to get going. Right, as we wait for everyone to get going.
We Matthew Renone in P1, Mornay Deploy in second place because of the reverse grid. There they go. Matty loses out, I think, on first position because it might be Mornay Deploy that got the jump on him. We'll wait and see once they get into Tarzan corner. Mornay has the inside line, so he will be able to defend the corner unless Matty drives around the outside of him, which I think he did.
Nice
So well
driving.
done. Yeah, excellent driving. To see such a big pack of cars and everybody giving each other just enough breathing space, and they got through quite nicely. So at this stage, Julian Brains is up in second place. So Julian had a demon start. If you just see where Julian was in the qualifying and how he managed to drive up there at this stage, but certainly he is going very, very well. Way back, we look at D-Dash Senior got that minor infringement and penalized. It was just a slowdown, so I don't know how they apply the slowdown, but nonetheless, the guys that are racing will know.
I think you have 60 seconds to lose a certain amount of time to the guy in front of you. That's how the slowdown works. So
There's an overtake.
oh, nice. I think
yeah.
that was Jonathan Bentz coming past, if I'm correct. It was
Yeah,
indeed.
so certainly, and there's a bit of racing as rubbing coming through the corners there. And this is the setup, if I'm in the right part of the circuit, for Arie Luyendyk. Yes, it was actually Arie Luyendyk itself. So this is into the main circle. Jean-Ray Duppenaar having a demon start on how he got through the field to where he is ahead of Julian Brains, Donnell Benz, Timo Smit. Look at them change position. Jean-Ray Deploy, he loses a position to Mornay Deploy. In fact, I think he's might have had a problem there because he lost a position to Brunt as well. So he's taken it back from Brunt again. So they're fighting for positions real time on track. And Julian Brains, what an amazing start he's had, just to be behind Jean-Ray Duppenaar at this stage in second position. There he goes in the green colours. Looks almost like American Marines star on there.
And this is the beauty of the second race with the reverse grid. Julian wasn't in the fight in race 1, but with the reverse grid and with it being so difficult to overtake and the lap times being so close, he's now in the running for a podium, possibly a win.
Yeah, so how he got through everybody, I don't know, because in qualifying for race 1, he was in 15th. So he had to get past the 5 cars and then the reverse grid to get into position that he's in at the moment second. There's the Flying Bumblebee. It's in sight already. Oh, here's a spin. So let's just see who's going to catch up. Jason is up into 10th. Now Jason was in second, so Jason has had a mediocre start. He hasn't really made up any positions, but I think the guys will keep him. He'll have to fight for those positions. They're not going to come to him on a plate. So just a reminder, keep your eyes out for who you think is the best driver overall for the day. Not only in the first race or not only in the second race, but combined. And you'll be given an opportunity to go and vote for that with the QR code at the later stage. Oh, there's a little bit of a nudge up the inside, but just enough on the back end of the commentary booth that you see to the right hand side there. So great racing that they have through Hoefenholzbocht as they go over Hoenzorf, and then they will just settle the cars in, turn slightly left and then sharp right as they exit the Grand Prix circuit.
And that's Andy that was in 4th place, one of our new drivers, a British driver, so having a good race 2 at the moment, as Ariane Balder unfortunately had a DNF in race 1 and struggling in race 2 as well.
There's car number 82 also had a spin. So a few of the guys managing to spin, and it's not difficult here at Zandvoort, as I said before. It has grass alongside, so if you're slightly off the racing line, you're on light dirt, not gravel as such, like there. But then again, if you're off the track, then you're into gravel, and if you bring that gravel back onto the road, then certainly it can change the grip. Oh, there's one into the barrier.
I think that was Andre Hildebrandt.
Yeah, so yes, he falls down.
Just doing a driver check as well. Where is race 1 winner? Race 1 winner Gerrit Bierkes. Sorry, not Gerrit Bierkes, race 1 winner. Race 1 second place. Gerrit Bierkes is currently in, he's actually just moved up to 7th place. He's just picked up a place.
Yeah, he was further back, so in that pack that he's in, he's actually getting through them slowly but surely. There's still 15 minutes of this 20-minute race to go, so you'll see the bumblebee appear, and he is just behind Mornay Deploy at this stage. So Mornay is the white car with a little bit of red on the bonnet, and there's Gerrit Bierkes right behind him, car number 31. So Gerrit Bierkes slots into 7th position, and Mornay takes it back from him again. So here they break away from the main circuit and into the national circuit, as it were, and they are really fighting it out tooth and nail. So the big points I saw in the comments, one of the guys making the comment that, damn, that's a lot of points. So yes, it is a lot of points. There goes Gerrit Bierkes. So somebody ahead of him has spun.
Jean-Louis Deppenau, it was our leader. That means
Yes,
Julian Brains up into 1st place. Excellent.
Yes. So somebody in the comments was saying, Arjan Belde has a stop and go for penalty overtaking under yellow. So at this stage, Julian Brains in that green car with the star on it, he's going to be overtaken by Benz. Benz is on the outside of Tarzan corner, but look at Darnell in between the two of them. He might just be there to run away with the boat.
Oh, there goes Benz.
Yeah, not just as we give somebody a mention, we put the mockers on. Now the front four, Brain, Smith, Darnell and Brunt, are very close together, but behind them is Gerrit Bierkes with open free air, and he can now chase. I think he's got a bit of defending to do with Deploy behind him, but I don't think we'll have to worry about it now that he's gotten clear of him. I'm sure he's going to put his race face on and get after the top four. And Julian Brains has 0.1 of a second. I make it that he's ahead, but certainly it looks as though every corner they go through, they come all.
Spun.
That's Timo, and I'm not sure if that was a bump or whether Timo just didn't get it right through the corner. So that's going to mean Gerrit is now up into 4th, and there's also battle going on for 2nd and 3rd between Brunt and Darnell, and there's another spinner.
That's
So
Timo
Gerrit
recovering. He's gone all the way down to 17th place. It's very difficult to spin these cars around once you've done a 180.
Yeah, so Gerrit, who was way down, we mentioned it, I think on lap 1, he was in a bunch there. He's got through to 3rd position now, but Darnell is fighting him tooth and nail for that position. Oh, there's another spinner there. They just don't stay on it long enough that we can actually see who it is. So I think one of our lady drivers is in 25th. Is that is it Caroline?
Caroline, yes.
Yeah, so she's in 25th, and let's see where Lady Benz
Oh,
is.
nice pass for the lead there by Melvin, round the outside of Julian.
Yeah, so Melvin just taking that, and but then fighting as well. Gerrit's going to be, it's all point something, decimals of a second. So that's going to be Gerrit right there with him, and I think he's taking Darnell with him. So if the top four are very close. And I was looking for the ladies' 13th position is the other Benz car. So certainly there's one in 10th and one in 13th. What did you say the lady driver in the Benz car is?
Emily Benz.
Oh, she's in 10th. She's ahead of, is it hubby, father?
Father, yes.
Yeah, he's in 14th. So Emily in the top 10. Well done, Emily.
Right, good racing at the moment. Lots of argy-bargy going on here. I think some of the guys may be getting caught out by how the penalty system works. That will, I'm sure, find out as the races go on. Basically, you have 60 seconds. If you get a penalty, you don't have to serve it straight away. It looks like some of the guys are serving it straight away. And that, I think, causing issues because they're slowing down on the line, thinking they have to straight away do it. They can wait till it's safe and then do it where it doesn't affect everyone. The guys will learn that, I'm sure, as they get more familiar with the system.
Probably the best advice would be to wait for a part of the circuit that's a little bit more straight, get off the racing line. If you have somebody right behind you, gain the additional time, if that's the correct term, and then get back onto the racing line and go back to racing.
Jean-Louis all over the back end now. Who's this all? Andy Darnell in front of him, I think.
Right, so certainly racing throughout the back, but at this stage it looks as though seem to, well, I wouldn't say seem to have settled, but there's a mistake. Either having to avoid the car in front of you to the left and all the curbing to the right, or a combination of both, that certainly unsettled the car. And Jean-Ray Dutoy up into 5th position. There's somebody in the barriers again. There's a nudge as well. So Vesthuizen in 17th position. Dinesh Singh, I think, lost positions there, as did Standard. So they're down to 18th and 19th position. Is it because they're battling with each other? That's Dani Standard. And Dinesh Singh, there's Andre Hildebrand coming down. Losing positions on the track as well, down to 21st is Andre. So at this stage, Brunt is in the lead from Gerrit Beekes. There's a slow-moving car, and everybody gets past quite easily. So Brunt, Beekes, Darnell, Brains, Dutoy, then Olivier Underwood, Renault, if I get that right, hopefully. Tapu, I'm not sure if the X is silent, and then Emily Benz in still the top 10, the 10th position with 9.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Jonathan in 13th. I believe he would have had a problem because that was that half spin we saw. Maybe just lost a lot more time than we realized. He was up near the front and I think just got caught out in the braking and just got tapped around slightly, as we saw with Timo as well, with Timo getting this slight tap from Julian and got spun around. Timo is also on his way back through the field. He's currently in 15th place. He was dropped down to 17th, and I think Jonathan maybe had the same, where he was just dropped down and slowly working his way back.
Bad news for Timo though, even if he gets past Monet Deploy, Monet is 7.5 seconds behind Benz, so that's quite a big gap to make up for the next position. And with only 8 minutes 40 odd seconds to go, it certainly is close racing, and it's going to be very, very competitive. The main straight looms once again. If that's number 13, it's more than likely it will be close.
It could also be Sean Olivier. They're running the same car. They only have so many skins, so they actually have duplicate cars. I believe it is Sean actually. Probably down in 24th place at the moment.
Yes. So let's just see. It's 1.8 seconds between first and second. So I don't think with 8 minutes 14, unless something really happens, there's going to be a challenge for first and second. Points are going to be interesting at the end of the day, because we haven't seen big points like this ever in my life. So personally, I like the way that the Cape Supercars scored. If you had 25 cars in the field, for an example, the leader would be 25, the guy in second would got 24, 23, and it would go down 1 point at a time. But the Americans have got to do everything bigger and better, and they just give a fistful of points. There's Hogenholzbocht again as they go around the corner. No, that's not Hogenholzbocht, because there they're coming to set up for Kumo, and then Ari Luyendyk. It'll be the right, and then a little bit straight, and then Ari Luyendyk. So this is setting up for the main straight. And look at that battle. There's 4 cars that are racing for the same piece of track. There you can see how far Gerrit Beekes is behind Melvin Brunt. So Gerrit racing in isolation, as is Melvin. It's 2.1 seconds. It's 2.4 depending who's on the brakes and who's accelerating. But look at these 4 cars behind them. What a great race they're having.
Just a question regarding points of fastest lap and pole. I'm actually not sure. We're kind of just doing the point system as it is with the IMSA challenge, the IMSA championship, I should say. And I have the points for the races, but I actually am not sure. I don't believe there's fastest lap or pole position points. As far as I know, there isn't. I stand corrected, but to my knowledge, no.
Well, unless in the days that we were giving 1 point for the fastest lap and 1 point for pole, 1 point is zero effect when you get to a winner that gets something like 350 points. So previously we did see in championships that race or championship winners got separated from second or third position by 1 or 2 points. Then a pole position or a fast lap in a race, that 1 point certainly could make a difference. But when you're getting big points like this, there's Jonathan Benz has a slowdown penalty for track limits abuse. So Jonathan is in 11th position, and certainly who's very close to Jonathan. That's not so far, it's 6 seconds, or not that close. So Berger is more than 6 seconds, so Jonathan can actually give up the time, and he do never slow down and still maintain his position. But because he is 0.9 of a second behind Jean-Ray Dippenaar, that means he could potentially be more than a second behind Jean-Ray Dippenaar now.
My apologies. I see that we have one incident, or potentially one driver having incidents in race 1 that I had missed from the steward. So I will make sure that for the next rounds I don't have that issue again. What you see on screen now as well is your vote for driver of the day. That will be up till about 2 minutes before the end of the race. I'll take it off. You can scan it, place your vote. I will then announce the results with the last minute or so left in the race.
Right, so certainly another interesting feature that this sim brings us is the vote for the driver of the day, and that's why I did say in race 1, keep in mind who took your fancy in race 1. Oh, there's a bit of a dive up, and I wouldn't say a suicide maneuver, but a gap that wasn't really there, but it was just a slight nudge, and I don't think any paintwork really came off there. So certainly keep in mind who impressed you in race 1, who impressed you in race 2. Is it the same person? If not, then who's your combined race driver for the day, and that's the person you vote for.
You see quite a close battle here at the moment for what is this, 3rd and 4th place. They're moving to the side down the straight.
Andy Donnell. And Sean Olivier, who we know well, he's been one of our top 5, top 8 competitors consistently, and looks as though he's just got the car well positioned. He certainly has left more than enough room, so that's not to be, he just got a better run. By the looks of it, there goes my commentary tower and the main grandstand, so that means they've gone through Hoefenholzbocht and up to Hoenzerich now before they approach the sharp right to join the part of the circuit that the rest of has been chopped off. So here they go sharp right, and they join again on the way to Ernstbocht. And a bocht, of course, in Dutch is a corner, so it's just you get used to it so much when you co-commentate with the Dutch guys, and what fun that was. Certainly 2 years in a row, 2015, 2016, at the historic Masters Racing, the Grand Prix at Zandvoort, the historic Grand Prix, doing it live. They race a full weekend qualifying. They do qualifying on the Friday, racing on Saturday, racing on Sunday. So it's a busy weekend, and we were flooded with rain on the Thursday, and then they had 3 days of wind, but absolutely beautiful weather for racing. The first time I was there. But Brown's 1.8, 1.9 seconds ahead of Beekers, so I don't think there's much going to happen there. Is this Julian? No, it's not.
Sean Olivier up on the inside of Jason there. Or Jason trying to go around the outside of Sean, I think. Jason has indeed got past Sean. Jason making his way forward at quite a rate at the moment. He's now got Andy Donnell right in his sight. So Jason could actually pick up 3rd place.
Yes, and somebody leading the pits there. It's probably for the stop and go, Johan Beekers. Was that maybe a stop and go?
It could have been, yeah. Or a drive-through maybe.
A drive-through, yeah. So, and he did the right thing in the race, is not just to join, he actually did use the left rear view mirror to see if there was fast traffic approaching, which there was, and he waited until they did pass them before rejoining, and Johan is in 26th position, albeit quite a long way down.
All right, 2 minutes to go. I'm going to go have a look at our votes for driver of the day, and then we can announce who is driver of the day.
Right, so Jason Underwood now up into 4th, as we said, and he's only 0.3 of a second behind Andy Donnell, and Andy Donnell is 4.5 seconds behind Gerrit Beekers. Gerrit Beekers 1.3 seconds. Here you can see race leader Brandt, Melvin Brandt, then Gerrit Beekers. Oh, there's a spin again. It's one of the number 13s that we were talking about earlier. If there's a change on the leaderboard, can't see where it comes down. So certainly I don't think there's going to be a change for 1st and 2nd. Melvin from Gerrit. Then Andy Donnell is 5 seconds behind Gerrit, so I don't think 3rd's going to change. Other than Jason now 0.1 of a second behind Donnell, and that could well change. So Timo Smit goes up into 11th position. Something happened to Tapu, and that car goes down to 13th position. So great racing close here, and just a slight mistake as there was one made there, just left the car out a little bit too wide, and up on the inside comes two cars and takes the position from you, and certainly very, very difficult to be defensive if you're giving up so much road. So right at this stage, it's still Melvin Brunt that leads by 1.6 seconds, so that hasn't changed much, as this race has 35 seconds to run. Depending where they are, the race leaders, they're going to more than likely cross the line before they get to the countdown timer stopped. So just wait for them.
Driver of the day as voted by our viewers, Gerrit Bierkes.
Okay, so he probably did a rent-a-crowd, the whole family arrived, but that's fine. And that's
Actually, it was quite close. There was only one vote in it, so it was actually very, very close.
great stuff, Gerrit. And the race leaders have gone across the finish line, so this is the last lap. So Gerrit Bierkes is in second position. As I said, I don't think he's going to catch Melvin Brunt. Melvin Brunt's going to be the winner for race 2. There's Melvin, there's Gerrit. And look how far they are, 5 seconds ahead of Jason. Jason has got past Sean Olivier, so he's in the white car 5 seconds back, coming over the hill there at Honzerich. And certainly he's had a great recovery drive, has Jason. And Gerrit has consolidated second. Not much of this track left to actually make it for first place, but I think with so many points at play, you must consistently be in the high scoring points so that you can ensure that you stay in the top 2, 3, 5 of the championship, because if some mishap were to occur, they don't have a discard of a race, do they, Dennis?
No, they don't. Not in this championship.
Okay, so in this championship, you've got to be in it to win it every single race. Because if you potentially are a race winner and 350 points compared to not being there, no points, then certainly it is a big, big difference. For the checkered flag then, across the line.
Guys, sideways there. Wow.
Yeah. They displayed final lap, or the thing comes up final lap. I'm just trying to work out, did I get the wrong cars going across the line? That's not impossible.
It wasn't. I think that might have been third place going across the line at the time. So we have a race 2 victory for Melvin Brunt.
Yes.
Congratulations. Gerrit Bierkes second place. Jason Underwood third place. Sean Olivier fourth place. Andy Darnell fifth place. Jean-Andre de Toy in sixth place. Julian Brains in seventh. Matty Renan for eighth place. Jean-Andre Dupinard, in ninth place. 10th place, Jonathan Benz. Timo Smith 11th. Reino Berger in 12th place. And I think that's all I can read. I think all the other names are already crossed the line.
One of the cars in the pits already.
Alright, I'm going to just take the stuff off the screen as you're waiting for everyone to cross the line. I'm sure we will see the final positions. Hopefully I can go to ad break before it catches me out again, as it did in the previous race.
These guys are just going to stand beside note in 23rd position. In Caroline Yost, I think, was behind. So well done to them. There we see first Melvin Brunt, Gerrit Bierkes, Jason Underwood, Olivier Darnell, that's the top 5. Jean-Andre de Toy, Julian Brains, Renaud, Dupinard, Benz, that's the top 10. Timo Smith recovered to 11th. Berger, Tapu, Emily Benz in 14th. Johnson, Deploy, Van der Westhuizen, Dean Ash Singh, Andre Hilbrandt, Ricardo Costa, I think it is, Donny Stander, Tatoy, another one of the Tatoys from Spark Performance, and stand beside no teammates in 22nd, 23rd. Caroline Uester from Namibia in 24th position. Nice to see so many flags, and unluckily DNFs for Van Aarde and Arjan Belder from the Netherlands. So,
and sorry about it. I'm going to jump to an ad break so we don't get caught out again. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
All right, welcome back everyone to the completion of round 1 of our Sim Experience, the Safe Boys MX5 Cup, coming to you live from the Zandvoort National Circuit in the Netherlands. So with the completion of round 1, we have our top 3 drivers overall for the round with us, which are, in first place, Jason Underwood, in second place, Marvin Brandt, and in third place, Gert Beekers. Just to let everyone know the points, we have a total of 650 points for Jason Underwood. We have a total of 650 points for Marvin Brandt, but he is second to Jason only because Jason outqualified him. In third place, we have Gert Beekers on 640 points, so it is extremely close. Perhaps we can do the interviews with Sean. Sean, if you'd like to start with Jason.
Jason, good evening once again, and well driven, first of all, and a great recovery, I think, specifically in race 2, considering where you were. Generally, that's the first time out with these cars. Did you take much practice? Did you get used to it quite quickly, or was it difficult out there for you?
Hi, Sean. Hi, Dennis. No, I mean, we've been putting quite a bit of practice in this week. But it's a car that you have to be smooth with. It's a driver's car, which I quite like. I'm sure most of us quite like it. And because the setups are all locked, everybody's got the same machinery, which makes it very close. And as you can see by the first 2 races of the season, it's very close and a lot of fun. So yeah, looking forward to this.
Great. Thanks, Jason. Melvin, great race that you had as well, or great set of races to be equal to Jason and only to be on the second step of the podium due to where you qualified. How did you experience the racing? There seemed to be a little bit of rubbing, but rubbing is racing. And I think the guys kept a good mind and gave everybody just enough room. How did you find the race?
Yeah, I found the races very good. It was very hectic and very fun. The quality didn't go as I wanted. I clearly wanted to go a little bit higher. In front row would have been a little bit easier. But yeah, it is what it is.
Great stuff, and as we said, you're co-leader, as it were. It's just that you end up with silverware tonight and not the gold trophy, but that could change. This is quite a long series. It's going to go for a while. Gerrit, the Flying Bumblebee has been used to running out in the front. With a car that isn't, what shall I put it, as Melvin said, and also Jason, it's a driver's car. You don't have unlimited horsepower underfoot. You really have to drive smoothly. How did you find the recovery, specifically in race 2, from where you started to actually get to the position that you finished?
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy. I thought I was going to be more off pace. I was struggling quite a lot to get used to the sim in general, but pace seems fine. And there are quite a lot of argy-bargy going on there in the second race. I'm sure we're going to go have a look at some of the stuff that happened, but yeah, it was fine. Pace was decent. Carried a little bit of damage in the second race, so I couldn't really go any faster than what I did. So, but it was all good, all good.
Thanks, Gerrit. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more fun racing in the Safe Boys Sim Experience SA MX5 Cup. Over to you, Dennis.
I'll just round off the interviews then with a question for Jason. Jason, coming into this round, you were definitely looking strong in the practice. You had a lot of resistance from the guys in the races. Race 2, I guess, is a bit more challenging, learning how it all works. Some of the guys obviously have different driving styles. It looked like you got caught out a few times in the braking zones, both being hit once or twice in race 1, hitting 1 or 2 guys in the braking zones in race 2. How does it all work out with the penalty system? You have to give back time. Did you find that was a hindrance, maybe too much of a hindrance, too little of a hindrance? How do you find the penalty system is working?
To be fair, I mean, if you get a slowdown penalty, you've obviously cut the track. So to not get a penalty, don't cut the track. It's pretty simple. The rules are all the same for all 30 drivers. It's up to the drivers just to stay on the tarmac or on the inside of the white lines. But there were a few instances where if you get hit from behind, you get the slowdown penalty, which happened twice in race 1. So that might need to be looked at. But other than that, I think it's not too bad. maybe just a little refinement here and there. But other than that, I think it was close racing, and when we were door to door, there were no penalties, no slowdowns, which is nice. It allows a bit of rub and tub here and there, which we do want. We don't want to have to put cushions between the cars, otherwise we get penalties. So in that instance, very happy. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome series. Can't wait to carry on.
And then a question as well for Melvin. I'll also give a question to Gerrit. Melvin, fantastic having you here from Petrolhead Racing. Your series that you race within Petrolhead, I believe you guys mostly focus on RaceRoom, so you're quite familiar with the sim. How was it racing with us? Was it quite different to you? I think our numbers were slightly higher than what your numbers have been of late from what I've seen. What's it like? Is this a car that you guys have raced? Are you used to racing different cars? Give us your feedback on the series so far.
We don't race the MX5s, we're racing a little bit faster cars, but it was more battle here, more people, that was the main thing maybe. And the race was very good here as well. Yeah.
Glad to know it was very good, and glad to know you had a lot more action here. And then Gerrit, final question for you. It's a bit more of a challenge for you, I guess. You know, you're struggling with a new sim. There's a lot more guys. Obviously, race 2 coming from 10th place. If you're in first place, would be quite a challenge. You were, I think, in second place, so you were 9th place. Sounds like thunder. It's quite
it's
weird.
big thunder here, mommy, yeah.
I just saw lightning out my window, so I know I didn't hear the thunder either. But yeah, how was the race from you? I mean, obviously it's a different sim, so apart from learning the new sim, what's it like learning the racing? Like Jason says, at least you can rub without having to put pillars between you, which is good. But there is the penalty system where the guy in front does get a penalty point and have to slow down if he gets hit. But it seems to allow for good close-to-close racing when side by side.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a handful for whoever's stewarding this, but yeah, and because of the draft, you know, there's quite a big draft behind the cars here, so I don't think you'll see the same thing that happens on our factory. You'll get one guy that just completely runs away. You're kind of pulling along the guy at the back, so that's going to make it quite interesting. And yeah, you're going to get door-to-door stuff, and there's going to be bumping, so yeah, I don't know who's going to decide on penalties, but it'll be a tough job.
Thanks. Yeah, we have a live steward, but I didn't really utilize it enough tonight, so we will make full use of our new tools from the next round. We had a lot to take in tonight, and actually at certain points forgot to even speak to our live steward, so I need to find a more accurate way of speaking to him. But thank you very much to our top 3 drivers: Jason Underwood in first place, Melvin Brunt in second place, and Gerrit Birkus in third place. I'm going to drop you guys out into one of the other rooms just below where I see some of the other drivers. So thank you once again, and congratulations to our top 3. Sean and I will do our final goodbyes for the night. So of course, going into the next round, which will be Laguna Seca, that will be a track which I'm sure a lot of the drivers are familiar with. There's only one layout at Laguna Seca. Everyone will know it if they've been to Laguna Seca in the past. I think coming from this round, maybe some of the drivers weren't familiar with that layout. I'm going to say that's maybe an excuse for some. There'll be no excuses for Laguna Seca. The guys will be now more familiar with the sim. They'll have a little bit of experience. They know what to expect for round 2. Sean, I presume you know Laguna Seca fairly well from international racing and from some of our sim races. What are you expecting for Laguna Seca?
Laguna Seca is a tricky track. If you think of the left-hander at the end of the straight, and then the corkscrew, change of elevation, change of direction, all those things that can unsettle a car. It's not specifically or particularly as wide as Zandvoort. So I think where Zandvoort at times we had 3 cars, maybe 4 abreast. I think you'd be pressed to get more than 2 cars abreast at Laguna, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My knowledge of Laguna is purely from the days that I followed World Superbikes quite closely, and from there I know that it is a very twisty, narrow track, and you really have to have your wits about you to be consistent.
Exactly. It's not an easy track to pass on. There's, I think, maybe 2 opportunities in this car, maybe 3 if you get very forceful. Those are the proper main, but I think in these cars it might be possible if you set it up to actually go side by side several corners and therefore make a few more opportunities that wouldn't otherwise exist. In a faster car you kind of have only certain opportunities, but in a slower car maybe it's a bit different. If you get side by side, you can run side by side through several of the corners. Of course, turn 1 is in the main straight. There's a kink. That's turn 1 by their standards. By my standards, it's the hairpin. if you go through the hairpin side by side, you can run side by side all the way through to the corkscrew. The corkscrew being the next part where you'll actually, if you were side by side, you could then make a pass and then into the final turn as well. So it could be very, very exciting. It could be difficult to pass, but it could also be exciting. Is once you start to make that pass, it could go on for basically the whole lap.
Yeah, I thought that you could start with the last corner, and as you say, if you're running next to each other all the way through the straight, although I think you'd probably do better to, as Gerrit said now, there is actually drafting, slipstreaming possible, so go in behind the car in the lead and try and bounce him into turn one. If you don't get it done, stay next to him. And if you get through the corkscrew, depending who gets through the corkscrew better, and it could be the car on the outside actually, that has a better line going through the corkscrew, then maybe get the pass done through the corkscrew. But either way, I think some of the passing maneuvers will be thought out 1 or 2 corners ahead of the actual pass.
All right, well, that's it for tonight, everyone. We'll catch you all next week for round 2 of the Safe Boys MX5 Cup from Laguna Seca. I'm your commentator, Dennis Mitchell, being joined by Sean Woodgate tonight. So thank you, Sean, for joining us and making it so exciting. And we will catch everyone next week for round 2. Have a good week. And until then, see you next week.
Good night, everybody.